Why, hello. It's been a hot minute since I've last done one of these, so I apologize if I'm rusty, but yeah, I'm kind of back. Don't expect anything spectacular, but I thought I'd hop on and kind of give a life update because the last video that I had was based on my New Year's resolutions, which I think were for 2024. It's now 2025 and we're well over half the way. I think we're in September. Some big updates have happened, and I thought I'd come on here and kind of give a little update and go over one topic that I think I'm going to kind of talk to myself about, but over the camera so that way I can refer to this video, and maybe some of you will relate to that, and that's going to be about imposter syndrome, but we'll get to that in a second. So I guess some quick updates. I think one of the biggest resolutions that I had in that video previously was that I wanted to get a PA school interview, and surprise, I am actually in PA school right now. So I fulfilled that. I got more than just an interview. 2 days after my interview, I actually got called back by the director, and he offered me a position to their program, and I accepted it. So woo! I honestly don't remember what my other resolutions were in that video. I don't know if it was to read more or be more creative or something like that, but I will be completely honest, I have not really touched the camera much since graduating and all that stuff. I've done a couple of photo shoots here and there, but overall, I've just not had time. I've just been working really hard trying to get as many patient care hours before applying during the application process, and just it was super duper busy. So as for the creative aspect, not a whole lot changed there. So we're in PA school now, so I was able to fulfill that goal and honestly dream of mine. You know, ever since freshman year of college, I think second semester of freshman year when I kind of realized that the PA profession was something that I'd be interested in, and it wasn't until after shadowing different PAs and different specialties that I was like, that's what I want to do. If you guys want me to make a video about what a PA is, what the difference is between PAs and nurse practitioners and doctors, DOs, MDs, nurses, medical assistants, stuff like that, I can do that. The medical profession is something that's very awesome, and if you are at all thinking about it, please hit me up in the comments. I want to do this because I kind of want to track not just my experience about being a PA student, but also just in general of medicine and how I want to keep myself motivated, and that's kind of what this is going to be for me. Long story short, PA school is very hard. First semester kind of almost concerned me to a point where I was like, I don't know if I'm good enough for this, because it's hard. It's very hard, and to get into programs itself is extremely hard. I don't know what the statistic is. I've talked about it with other classmates, and basically they came to the rundown that like 1 to 3% or whatever of applicants get into a PA program. For example, the school that I applied to had, I think, over 1,000 applicants, and the class size is 26. So if you do the math, I think it's like a less than 3% of a chance to get into the program. It's extremely competitive, and that was applying to a ton of other schools too. So like I didn't get accepted to some schools. I got accepted to one school and got a couple interviews and stuff like that. So it's super duper competitive. Your stats have to be good, all that stuff, but like I'll also get into that too. If you're trying to get into PA school, your stats aren't everything, and I'm an example of that. Basically, I wanted to make this video because I wanted to talk about imposter syndrome. So let's look up the actual definition real quick. So after looking up the definition of imposter syndrome, Google, imposter syndrome, also known as imposter phenomenon or fraud syndrome, is a psychological experience that causes people to doubt their skills and successes. That's prime who I was after the first semester, specifically after the first round of exams. To give a little background, basically for PA school, they're a graduate level degree in which you have to score at least a certain percentage in order to consider passing, so that way you can graduate, which is a little bit different from undergrad. Undergrad, I believe, uses A, B, C, D, F. I don't know what all grad programs do, but at least for my PA program, we do basically A, B, C, and everything after that is an F. And we don't really do C's, because if you get below an 80%, technically that's a fail. Like if you get below an 80%, we have to do what's called a remediation. It sounds scary, but basically all it is that you scored below what the acceptable human level of error is, at least for the program that I'm at, and that means you need to do something to kind of showcase that you might have lacked in that skill, but we need to know that you understand what you're going into. Especially with medicine, you want to know that the students that you have know the stuff that you're teaching them. It goes just back to the patients as well. If I was a patient, I would want to know that my provider knows what they're talking about. But yeah, so my school program's threshold is 80%. Other schools are like 75%. I don't know if they go as low as 70%, but mine's on the higher end at 80%. And after the first round of exams, we had 4 exams, and I had to remediate on 2 of them, which also in my program has a limited number of times that you can remediate. If you have to remediate more than 15 times and or score below a B- in 2 classes, you get kicked from the program. You're done. It's tough. It's very, very hard. And especially after that first round of exams, I was in my head a lot about whether or not I thought I was good enough to be in this program. You know, I had done all of the things to work myself up to this point, to apply to the schools, to, you know, go through the application process, to shadow providers, to work in healthcare, working in a job, doing all of the things that are required to basically get your foot in the door into PA programs. I did all of that. But after that first round of exams, I was questioning whether or not, am I good enough? This stuff is hard. This is really hard for me. And I struggled with that thought a lot because I didn't know that I was good enough. Like I said, I thought I was the only student that had to remediate 2 exams out of the 4 that we had just taken. I'm pretty sure I was, of my class, which is not a fun position to be in, you know, especially because I wouldn't say competitive, but we all compare ourselves to other people. And, you know, like I know that there's people that are going to be smarter than me. And I know that there's going to be people that maybe aren't as smart as me in certain aspects. But I felt like I was the dumbest in the class. Like I felt like I didn't belong because I had to remediate 2 on the first semester. And this wasn't even the hard stuff. We had learned how difficult the fall semester, which I'm in right now, is going to be. And I can tell you right now, it is a night and day difference between the summer and the fall. I want to go back to the summer so bad. I miss my professor, and yeah, that was the time. It's hard. It's just extremely hard. It's very, very hard. Compared to the first semester, compared to the summer semester, fall is a different ballgame. For those of you who are PA students, you know, taking Clin Med, Clin Lab, those classes, patient eval, doing tests, OSCEs, things like that, like, we're in the thick of it. It's tough. Long story short, I thought that I was not good enough in this program, and I struggled with that, especially, you know, seeing all my other friends in the class do well and seeing their successes and comparing my failures to their successes was kind of the root of where I was beginning to really delve into that imposter syndrome. And that's not a good place to be in, especially if you're doing something that's hard. One thing that I struggled to do is to take a step back and to realize that I'm doing something that's hard. I've made it this far. There's nothing that's keeping me from being able to complete it all the way through, you know, other than myself. If I continue to dwell on the failures that I've had in the past, that's not going to help me get to where I want to go to. And I think it's important for me to give myself grace and the effort that it took to get to this place. You know, we don't take a look at things in retrospect very often. I'm trying to think back to my freshman year of college. Like, my dream was to get into a PA school, and I fulfilled that. But before that, my dream was to get into college, you know, and I did that. Before that, it was to graduate high school, and I did that. You know, there's all these successes that I've already had, and I think I failed to remember that no matter where I'm at in life, I've already succeeded in some of the things that I've wanted to do. And it just takes more work, the other things that I'm working at. Yeah, I wanted to kind of talk about, you know, my experience with feeling imposter syndrome. I'm sure so many people feel this way too. Like, it's not just me. A lot of people feel like they're not good enough, for doing whatever it is. It may not even be PA school. It could be something else. It could be, you know, trying to get into a university, a school that they want to get into, or getting a position that they want to for like a club or something like that. Like, we all go through things that we feel like we're not necessarily good enough. That is the root of what kind of plummets our successes. And I think it's important to give ourselves grace, but also to realize that where you're at right now is where you wanted to be previously. Maybe not always. There's exceptions. I need to take a look back in retrospective more often to say, hey, you know what? I'm fully capable of doing well in this program. I heard a quote today that was from one of our mental health chair, shout out Lexi. She had said, LeBron James, you know, if he shot 100 free throws, he would fail at some of those free shots. He would not hit 100 straight. So I need to give myself grace and say, you know what? I'm not going to hit 100 shots straight in a row. Basically, all of this to say, believe in yourself. Stop doubting yourself. Stop diving into this abyss of, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. I don't know how I'm in this position because I feel like I don't deserve this. You just need to believe in yourself. You just need to believe that you can do hard things. And honestly, you just got to be yourself and get through it. But I hope this video kind of reaches other people that are maybe going through the same thing, maybe feeling like they're not good enough for certain aspects and just feeling that imposter syndrome. Like, everybody feels it, and I just want to kind of voice that so I can come back to this video as well. If I'm ever feeling those hard feelings of imposter syndrome creeping in, I can just kind of refer to this video. But hopefully it's relatable to other people. But that's gonna do it for this. Basically, kind of a somber one. I won't lie, but I just think it's important to kind of make this for myself, but also, like I said, maybe other people are going out there into PA school or other schools and just feel like they're not good enough. And just, I'm here to tell you, like, we all feel that way, but we shouldn't feel that way, because we've already had so many successes and we've worked so hard to get to this point, and we need to relish in that. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. If you guys want me to do anything specific, I love talk videos like this. Hopefully I'll be posting a little bit more often, maybe a video a week. We'll see on that. That's gonna be kind of tough, but that's gonna be kind of a goal. Yeah, I will hopefully see you guys soon, and we'll leave it there. Adios.